still here in independent sleeping. We just talked about sleep dependencies and what they are, how they work, what they do, why your baby's waking up, and the science behind it. Let's talk about sabotaging sleep and why you might actually be not helping the situation with your child's sleep, okay? So let's talk about what sleep training is, okay? Unfortunately, sleep training has a very negative connotation these days. It's really often wrongly associated with leaving a baby to cry for endless hours alone, leaving him emotionally, physically traumatized. You know, there's a lot of methods out there. We're going to go through some of them, and then we're going to talk about what I do like and why I've created what works. But before you consider teaching your baby to sleep, it's important you understand sleep training, and for all intents and purposes of what we're going to do together, it does not mean leaving a baby to cry. By no means. Everything that we're going to do, we're going to ensure that your baby feels emotionally secure. We're going to ensure that your baby feels always that you are responding to them, never traumatized, never abandoned. So when I refer to sleep training anytime throughout this course, in essence, it simply just means teaching your baby to drift off to sleep without the assistance of something else, right? Without these sleep dependencies of pacifier, bottle, being rocked, being nursed, just like we discussed, okay? So you can always attempt to teach a baby to sleep using all these other things if you feel comfortable, but I'm going to outline methods for you that are much more gentle, much more in tune with your own emotions and your baby's to make sure that we can do whatever we can to help your baby sleep without feeling like you are compromising your parenting philosophy. But I also want you to keep in mind your baby's temperament and their sleep, okay? While one baby might be really easygoing, have no problem falling asleep, another might get very exacerbated, very angry, making it difficult for him to calm down. Some babies really respond well to touch and being cuddled, while others get overstimulated. So I want you to first sit down with yourself, figure out who your baby is. Does he get overstimulated easily? Is he easygoing? Does he transition easily to different situations? You know, there's no cut and dry here. Every baby is completely unique. I always want to make sure that everything we do, you move at your pace, at your baby's pace. You're not going to push him to do something before he's ready. You know, some babies will learn faster than others, depending on how they process information and what their temperament is like. But I want to make sure that you first understand who your baby is. So you have to sit back and look back on, you know, different ideas and things that have happened in your life and say, okay, my baby's a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more easygoing, or more intense, gets more easily upset. Take all of that into account when we're going to start making your sleep plan really soon with what is going to work. And whatever you do, I want you to know sleep training has this bad rap, okay? Here's two mothers boxing, because that's what it's about here with the mommy wars these days. It's really sad, okay? And I just want to share my thoughts on why it's not necessarily a disciplined last resort measure doing sleep training, okay? People think, and parents think, that sleep training goes against the baby's innate nature, goes against our maternal instincts. It's not what Mother Nature intended for healthy bonding of mother and baby. Yeah, okay, it's normal for babies to wake up at night and sometimes wake up a lot, but if a mother is unhappy and disconnected from her baby because the baby's irritable all day and screams endlessly throughout the night, then that normal behavior quickly becomes anything but normal, right? I have a really good friend. She has 7 kids, and her oldest is barely 10, okay? That's practically a baby every 1.5 years. She doesn't own a crib. Her kids don't have set bedtimes. Her family's beautiful, happy, and amazing. But I also have a lot of kids, okay? But I prefer to keep my babies only in my rooms till they're about 2 months old. Then I move them into a room with their siblings. I like my kids on a routine. We have set dinner times, set bedtimes, and I always keep my babies in cribs. Does that mean one of us is right and the other's wrong? Does it mean my friend's a better mother because she's more laid back and doesn't abide to a routine? Does it mean I'm a sleep sergeant because I teach my kids how to sleep for long stretches? No. The answer is who cares, okay? At the end of the day, my friend is happy with her situation and I'm happy with mine. So although we're extremely different, both of us have very warm, loving homes that fit what our needs are as parents. So some mothers might be, really perturbed at the idea of having their 3-year-old come out of their bed at night and wants them to stay put, but another mother might embrace bed sharing wholeheartedly. So the bottom line is that a happy mother is a good mother. And as your coach here, and as your sleep coach, parents contact me feeling guilty. Am I doing something wrong with my baby's sleep? Yeah, how do I know what's right? Is there something wrong with me wanting private time with my spouse in the bedroom without my baby there? My answer to all these questions is the same. You have to do what works for you and your family. So whatever your sleep philosophy is, if you're like gung-ho attachment parenting, you want to do sleep training with intense crying, or anywhere in between, remember that the only one who can determine what's right for you and your baby is you. There's a reason that you were chosen to be this baby's parent. And I just want to give you this whole pep talk before getting into the nitty-gritty here. So be honest with yourself. Is this something you want to do now? And is this something you're ready to do now? Are you ready to tackle your child's sleep? Is it enough of an issue that you feel like there's something that you have to do? Because I want to tell you something. A problem only exists if you feel it does. Doesn't matter what your aunt's baby's doing, what your cousin's baby's doing, what your neighbor does, or what your mom tells you has to be. It's all about what feels right to you as the parent. And you are the only one who can determine whether or not it's the time to work on your child's sleep. If you're here now, that probably means you want to, but don't rush through it and make sure you work at your own pace. Okay, I want to tell you an interesting story actually. You know, man plans and God laughs. That saying should be really stamped across the forehead of every parent because crazy situations that we think will never arise always come our way. Okay? As a baby coach, I receive so many late night phone calls from desperate moms, but I will never forget the call that I received from my childhood friend, Tara. Her name's not really Tara, but I changed her name because she didn't want me to use her name here, okay? She called me in a panic with some news. She was pregnant with triplets. When Tara became a mother with her triplets, I had a pretty good idea of how her home would run. Exactly the opposite of mine, right? Her kids would probably sleep whenever, however, whoever, and she'd be fine with that because her motto in life was always, you know, why plan anything? Just go with the flow. Tara got the shock of her life, though, when she didn't plan on having these 3 babies in one shot. Having one baby alone can be challenging to a new mommy, but multiply it by 3, it's almost, you know, really, really unbelievably overwhelming. So when she brought them home from the hospital, she was completely overwhelmed. The babies were up different hours of the night, each one having their own time of irritability, each one eating differently. And before my eyes, I saw my vibrant, carefree friend really just turn into this tense, exhausted mother. So together we sat down and talked about it, and she realized things had to change. Even though she herself was never a fan of predictability, she realized that her lack of structure was causing her life to be very chaotic. So the fact that I'd already been a sleep coach for many years definitely helped. We got things in track. Her being my friend, we were on the phone all the time, and we got her babies sleeping consistent stretches of sleep in the night onto predictable routines. But the hardest challenge that Tara had from the beginning of all this was kind of a balancing act, you know, figuring out what her natural tendencies were as a person while conflicting that with the structure she needed to be a good mother. So does that mean that every mom who isn't naturally structured has to make a routine? No, that's not what I'm saying. It just means that sometimes you might have to reshape who you naturally are to make it fit with being a parent, okay? She had 3 babies all at once. She was losing it. So it was kind of time to reevaluate. Do I really hate structure, or maybe is implementing structure something good for my sanity right now, okay? More shockingly though, after the triplets were a little older, she had another baby a 1.5 years later. Hence this picture of, you know, everything else going on. So because she was already so confident on top of her toddlers, having one baby was a breeze, okay? She was more laid back, much more easy with baby 4 because she had this predictability in her life. And the older ones or a play group in the morning. She was able to spend relaxing time with her baby. So when a mother contacts me frantic that her baby isn't sleeping in a crib or her baby's not sleeping consistent stretches, I always first ask where her ideas are coming from. Is it because she feels pressured to be a certain type of mother? Is it because she's unhappy with her situation? Does she feel like she has to do something? You know, the most important thing is to realize that something is only a problem if you feel it is. And Sarah realized that she wasn't coping and she needed to make some changes, so she did. But it doesn't matter what anyone tells you. You are the parent, and it has to be what works for you. So next time you hear someone telling you that you have to sleep train or under no circumstances you shouldn't sleep train, and that, you know, everything has to be what your own voice is. And you really have to stick with your own innate nature here. And I'm here to guide you along the way, and I'm here to help you make, you know, a proper game plan for everything with your child's sleep. But I want to make sure that you understand I'm never here to push you and I'm never here to force you. And I'm here to help you make the best decision based on what feels right to you.